Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I completely forgot to do this, I have to be honest. And so here we are making this video of the Summer Showdown tournament results. So me being a blithering idiot, I forgot to do it. And so these are the teams who advance to the tournament: the Dallas Fuel, Atlanta Reign, Boston Uprising, Washington Justice, the Paris Saint-Germain, and the LA Gladiators are in the top 6 for the West region. And for the East, the Shanghai Dragons, the Chengdu Hunters, Seoul Dynasty, and the NYXL. So those teams were in the Summer Showdown tournament. So let's have a look. Well, I guess we saw the results, so there's a little spoiler for you. Regional knockout bracket. It was a very close game against in the Justice and Eternal. Very, very, very close. But the Justice did pull it off. It was a cracking little game, apparently. But I could definitely imagine that it was. And Gladiators easily beating the Boston Uprising. Dallas versus Justice. This was another cracking little game right here of the Fuel and Justice. Another 3-2, but this time for the Dallas Fuel, who qualified for the tournament weekend. Atlanta Reign versus the LA Gladiators, another very, very close one, but it was the Atlanta Reign making it their way into Hawaii. So the two normal teams, who are in, normally in Hawaii, they are there. For the East, a very easy 3-0 for the Shanghai Dragons against the NYXL, and a very surprising upset of the Chengdu Hunters of the very, very late charge at the last week of the qualifiers. They put up a great fight and upsetted the Seoul Dynasty 3-2 fashion. Now this is for the tournament weekend. The Chengdu Hunters versus the Dallas Fuel first, a 3-1 for Chengdu Hunters. I was a bit surprised here because I would reckon maybe the Dallas Fuel would have maybe gotten the win. But apparently it was the Chengdu Hunters. But well played to them. Then it was the Atlanta Reign versus the Shanghai Dragons. As an Atlanta fan and one of my friends being a Shanghai Dragons fan, I was not surprised that the Shanghai Dragons even won. It was a clean sweep, so I'm not that surprised at all. For the losers round 1, a very, very close game, but it was the Dallas Fuel. Even Kings Row, look how close that was. A 6-5 record. That was definitely a very, very close game between the two West region teams. For the winners finals, it was the Shanghai Dragons narrowly winning against the Chengdu Hunters. Again, another very, very, very close game. It was almost going to be a reverse sweep, but it wasn't. And for the losers finals, the Chengdu Hunters with an easy 3-0 against the Dallas Fuel. And it was a rematch from the winners finals, the Shanghai Dragons versus the Chengdu Hunters in a 4-1 fashion. Shanghai Dragons walking Chengdu Hunters out of the park. I guess we mentioned the show matches as well. I don't even know like who these people are, and I deeply apologize. But this team. I'm not gonna put. I'll just like Choice Air One's team because that's like the first person who I see versus Eileen's team. So just like a little show match, mainly for China-based teams. So if I actually do this, that's better. Now you'll be able to see which players there are. So for Choice Air One's team, I got obviously Choice Air One, Fate, Evatol, Wu Ye, MCD, and Molly. So basically, 4 support players. For Eileen's team, we have Eileen himself, Shoushang, Gushui, Nisha, Li Zhegong, and Izayaki. I think this will happen every time that the Chinese will have a Chinese team will have a homestand. So that'll be in a couple weeks' time for the Hangzhou Spark. We'll be having another homestand. It was originally going to be the Guangzhou Charge, but because of some very interesting reasons, you may know what I'm talking about, for COVID, they couldn't run it, which is understandable, and Hangzhou has to have another homestand. But it was a show match here, and it was very, very easy. Eileen's team winning it. against Choice L1's team 2-1 at Lijiang Tower. There was supposed to be workshop matches. Um, so it was first gonna be a Ryan bot 1v1. The You Miss You Die, so kind of understandable. Genji Pong, that would have been amazing. Bastion Stairs and Tiny Overwatch. They were originally planned for the pre-shows for the Summer Showdown, but were cancelled due to travel delays out of the league's control. I don't really know what was happening there, so let me just have a little quick read on it. So this is what Overwatch League tweeted out. Due to travel delays out of our control, we will be cancelling the Summer Showdown Wacky Workshop segment to give teams more time to prepare matches. We thank fans for their understanding and are looking forward to tournament play beginning Thursday. So so they obviously tweeted that. When they were about to do it, I actually can't remember. Or maybe it was like a couple of days. Actually, no, yeah, it was a couple of days before they were about to start it, but it was sadly cancelled due to just just travel delays, which is pretty sad. So now I guess if you want to see me talking about the Countdown Cup, I'll leave so I'll put a card at the top right hand corner right over here where my mouse is having a spasm. You can obviously click on that and that will take you to the video where I talk about the results there, but I'm not going to spoil it here. So I guess we'll talk about maybe some teams that obviously didn't make it in. The two most notable ones, and these are mainly in the West region. The Shock and the Outlaws. Outlaws were actually in a pretty decent spot. They obviously won against the Shock. They were in like a very decent spot, and they won against Vancouver, but they lost their next two maps. Well, two games against Boston, Dallas, which basically knocked them out. And the Shock, I think, kind of the same for them as well. I think they won like at the very so they lost first to Gladiators, and then they won against London. That was the weird one. And they won against Paris, but they lost against Houston. They were legit hoping that the Gladiators. I think what was it? I think the Gladiators would have won against the Paris Eternal, if I remember correctly, but obviously they didn't. It was it was the Justice here. The Gladiators. So Shock was hoping that the Gladiators would win against against Washington, or even even like 3-0 in them or 3-1 in them, basically. So they'll be in so they'll be in it, but they didn't obviously. So bit unlucky there. But yeah, that's really it for me now. This was just a catch-up video because I completely forgot to do it when it happened. So yeah, that's it for me now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.